Old Alabama Gardener here, and today we're going to be canning beef soup. So here I have a beef chuck roast, and I'm going to trim all of the fat off of it. And now I've cut it into about 3/4 inch size pieces. I've already browned some of it, so now we're going to brown the last remaining batch. Browning the meat is not totally necessary, but it sure gives it a better appearance in the jar. Now I'm going to add a little bit of oil to my meat, and yes, you're reading it right. It is duck fat. Okay, so here we are. We've got all the meat pieces browned. Here's our potatoes that we've cut up and got them soaking in water. And here's our onion slices. And here's our celery. And our carrots. I'm going to put 1/4 teaspoon of salt into each pint jar. I'm going to put a heaping teaspoon of homemade French onion soup mix into each jar. Then I'm going to fill the jar up with hot chicken broth, but you could also use beef broth if you have that. Now I've had my jars boiling in a big pot outside on a camp stove, so I'm going to go out and bring in a full container of jars. If you ever worked in a commercial kitchen, sometimes you'll hear them say, "Hot stuff coming through." Okay, let's get started filling these jars up. First, the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then the heaping teaspoon of French onion soup mix. Now we add a layer of the browned beef, filling the jar to about 1/3 full. Now put in one of the onion slices, and I usually break it into pieces. Now add a layer of potatoes. I want to call your attention to that the vegetables are not pre-cooked. They are totally raw. Now add a layer of carrots, and notice that the layers of vegetables is not as thick as the layer of beef. Now add some celery pieces. It looks like I still have a little room in the top of the jar, so I'm going to add 3 or 4 more pieces of the beef. Now fill the jar with hot chicken stock or beef stock, leaving 1 inch of headspace in the top. Now wipe the rim of the jar with a paper towel soaked in vinegar. The vinegar will cut any of the grease off of the rim of the jar and will help with the sealing process. Now take a dry paper towel and wipe the rim of the jar to remove any of the vinegar. Now place a hot lid on the jar and a ring. And I screw the ring down pretty snug. Use a hot jar lifter and set that jar into the pressure canner. And now we're ready to start the canning process. Put the canner lid on and lock it into place. Notice the little safety that I've got circled in red is down. Now when that is up, it will prevent you from opening the lid when there's pressure in the canner. Now where I'm holding my hand over that vent, there's steam coming out. And we're going to let that steam come out for 10 minutes. You can see the clock in the background counting down. And the purpose for that is to get all of the air out of the canner. Now we've been venting the canner for 10 minutes, and I'm going to put the weight on the vent. Now this is not a jiggle weight. This has nothing to do with our canning pressure. We're going to use that gauge as a means of deciding what the pressure is in that canner. Now we're up to 10 pounds pressure, and because we're canning meat, we've got to hold this pressure for 1 hour and 15 minutes. And here we are, our finished product. Looks pretty good, doesn't it?